Let's continue to create some geometry for this set. And I'm going to save my scene, and I'm doing it in front of you just to remind you that you should do the same. So now we're at stage 2, which is modeling. I'm going to call it modeling 1. So if things go wrong, I can always go back to this file. And so what are we going to do? We're going to create some depth for the building. So I'm going to do things that I can't see, but I know I want more than a plane here. I don't know how thick the building is. If you look at this, you're kind of wondering, well, if this goes all the way here and this is the edge of the building, it can't be really deep, that building. But since we're going to rebuild this anyway, I'm just going to go a bit further here. So from here, I don't really need to see what's going on in the match cam anymore. I'm just going to use this edge and use that edge. Sorry, I wanted to do shift selection. Then we're going to extrude again. I'm going to extrude back the way, so that would be the depth of the building. How deep do I want it to be? I don't know. We can always change that later. What else do we see? There is a wall here, so let's extend that. So now I'm selecting these two edges and I'm going to extrude them. So I'm hitting G and extrude, and that's going to be a wall going to the side. Now we're going to need, let's take that a bit further, we're going to extend the building forward all the way to the edge of the pavement. So I'm going to do that first of all for this bit here. So I'm hitting G again because the last thing I did was extrude. Let me just maximize this view so I can see things a little bit better. So if I go really, I know that the pavement is not really deep here. So if I go forward, I would have to go a long way to hit the pavement. So I think there's probably a bit of a slope here. So I'm going to use my judgment. Let's go to the other view. It's probably, having been there from memory, it's probably that much space, I guess. So then all I need to do is move this down until it matches the edge of the pavement. And I'm going to start modeling the pavement just a little bit here. Before I do that, I'm going to extend that part as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this forward. So again, G, because I extruded last. So it's bringing me the extrude all the way to the same point. Okay. And now we're going to start to learn some modeling tools that we need. Okay, and I'm going to need this to move down. Okay, so now the question is, well, it would be nice if these things lined up exactly. So how do we make that happen? And also here there's a gap, so we need to deal with that. So I'm going to introduce some polygonal modeling tools for you. First of all, because you see my camera rotation doesn't really suit what I'm trying to do, so I'm going to hit F to frame on my selection, and now I can rotate around that selection. So first thing I'm going to try and do is to bridge that gap. So to do that, I'm going to need to create an edge that goes from here to there. So the tool for that is this one. I'm going to use Insert Edge Loop tool. So for you, since you don't have the shortcut yet, it is this one, Insert Edge Loop tool. For safety, you could go Reset tool if you're, just in case someone has used that tool before, if it's not your own machine, if you're working in the lab. Once you've done that, what you can do is, let me just close this. What you can do is that sort of thing. See, if I click here, it's going to split the polygons all the way throughout the geometry. So I'm just going to undo this because that's not what I want to do. It was just to demonstrate that tool, but I need to split it. Okay, oh, it's not responding. That's interesting. So we're going to use a different tool for this. We're going to use split polygon, which I wanted to mention anyway. So split polygon is here. I've got a shortcut for it as well. And that's going to allow us to split the polygon between 2 points. So I'm going to click somewhere. So this is a left click. I'm clicking here and then release, and then I'm going to click on the opposite edge and then I'm going to release. Except that, as you can see, I've missed the edge I wanted. I'm kind of over. I wanted to click around here. So I'm going to use backspace to delete that click, and I'm going to this time try and be more accurate and click here. Once I've done my 2 clicks, I'm going to hit enter, and that's it. That's my new edge. With this edge, what we've got is the ability to merge these 2 points. But before I do that, I'm going to grab this edge, I'm going to move it up, and like that, and try to make it match exactly the other one. So if I want to make sure it is exactly at that height, I'm going to use V to snap to point, and then I'm moving vertically, and you see it snapped exactly at that height. Now I could also make sure that horizontally I'm at the right point, so I'm going to do the same thing, V, and you see it has aligned it exactly with this. I'm going to do the same thing for this. So let's assume this was, way off. So I'm hitting V, and then I'm moving vertically, and there we go. I've snapped exactly here. And horizontally, let's assume I'm far away, V, and then I'm snapping to this line. Okay, so now everything is aligned perfectly, but it's not continuous. Now I'm going to go to vertex mode, so right click and select vertex, and if I click on this point here and then move it up and down, you see there's still a gap. It's not attached. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select those 2 points which are on top of each other, and I'm going to merge them. So I've got a shortcut for this here. For you can create the shortcut if you want. Go to Edit Mesh and go to Merge. Having done that, now if I select this point again, left click, and try to move it, you see everything's attached. So let me undo the move, and there we go. So now it's continuous. Let's go back to our extension. So we are at the point where we're pretty much where the pavement is. Of course the ground is not flat, so you see here I think I'm where the pavement is, and it would be useful for me to go full screen to see that a bit better, but here it's going down a bit, so I can move these points down a bit to try and align things. And I'd like to go all the way to the edge of the photos. I'm not quite there here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this view, and I'm going to select these 2 points and move them out. So that's it. We've got everything we want. Now all we need to do is to extrude this edge. So select this edge, shift select this one, extrude it down. So I'm going to use the extrude tool again. Let's maximize this view to see things better. Up to about here. Looks about right. It's a bit different here, so I may need to review what we've got towards here, but at the moment it's good enough for what we are trying to do. And now I'm going to extrude again, so G, and this time I'm going to extrude forward to create the ground. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this and move forward. Oh, and there's a little bit of a gap here, and that's my fault. Let me just undo this. That's because, and undo again, that's fine. See, I merged these points, but what I forgot to do is, sorry, let's maximize this view. This point here, this vertex, there are 2 on top of each other, and they are not merged. So I need to merge them again, just like I did these ones. So I'm going to use the shortcut this time, merge. Same thing for here, G to merge again, and I can check. If I select one point, there's only one there. Having done that, I can go to edge mode, select this edge, shift select that edge, and extrude them. Okay, so extrude, and here you see, because I've done some extrude, this axis is not quite vertical, so I would be better off using the global mode. See, global, local. Because this is not quite flat, this is not quite vertical, therefore this is not quite vertical. Therefore, if I want to extrude horizontally, I'm going to use global axis. Alright, and now all I have to do is pull this forward, and that is the street in front of that building. So let's take a look at it in this view, and it's starting to cover up the whole thing, right? The only thing we're not covering is this part here. That's fine. What we're going to do with this is we're going to extrude the street in this direction. So I've selected that edge, G, and extrude. Okay, it doesn't need to go very far, just far enough so it covers up everything. So apart from that bit of ivy, well, I guess there's this lamppost left, but we're gonna remove it anyway. And the sky, we've got the whole building taken care of.